Hello,
Welcome back to
BroYoCast.
And we can finally say welcome back.
Yeah, because this is episode 2. We've had a teaser episode. We've had episode 1.
And now
We've
this
got it.
is episode dos.
Yeah, and hopefully, if you're listening to this for the first time, maybe you can go back and listen to episode 1.
Maybe the teaser. I mean, if that's...
Yeah, the teaser is just kind of like, it's kind of there, but you don't have to listen to it.
Nope, not required.
But
it's not vital to your existence.
But if you're a new listener, welcome for the first time. If you're not, welcome back.
Welcome, yeah.
So yes, we're now in episode 2 of BroYoCast, and I have to say I'm very excited with what we're doing here.
It's something different for us. It is different. It's not. Oh gosh, you have a red hair. Sorry, I got distracted looking at his hair.
Was it actually growing red hair?
Well, it was just the lighting.
Oh, in the past I've grown one red hair.
It looked like red. Maybe it was red hair and I just lost
I mean,
it.
I have blondes in my family.
You know?
And
You know what my dad's beard
red-
color is?
Red?
Red.
Well, red is a recessive trait of blonde.
You know?
So like...
Well, my dad's dad, my grandfather, has a red beard also. Had a red beard. He's not currently with us anymore. But
Well, was he a redneck?
actually, one could say.
Oh.
And he was one-legged. One-legged? He had one leg.
Was he born that way?
No, interesting story, but very gruesome story on how that happened. Should I explain?
Yeah.
Well, he worked at this place called, I think it was Pilgrim's Feed. It's like where they make chicken feed.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like a welder. He was welding this big screw that they used to mix the feed. So he was sitting on this screw, like he was sitting on it's like kind of like he was sitting on a saddle. He was sitting on it like that. So his legs were across.
Right.
And somebody was not being smart and was not paying attention and turned the screw on.
Oh.
And he was still sitting there. And he said the first thing he saw was his foot come around.
Oh no.
So
that's
so one of his foot came around, and it just kept coming, and it kept coming, and he kept getting twisted up, and he couldn't move until he put out his pocket knife, and he said he could feel his bones crumbling. Pulled out his pocket knife, and he cut whatever he could off, and then they eventually stopped him. He got off, and I think it got infected until they had to like cut it up off to like the hip, not to where like the knee.
Oh
no. So very interesting story. My dad tells it a lot better. I never met my grandfather, but
I'm gonna be honest. When you first told me he only had one leg, I thought I'd be hearing a World War I story,
or like a pirate or something,
like a pirate story. But definitely not what I was expecting.
Well, he also, I'm pretty sure he fell. He was walking on a spiral staircase up like something, and he fell from like so many stories up high, and like he like landed on his feet or something, and he lost like 2 inches off his height because of that. I think that was before he lost both of his legs.
Well, I'll make sure to keep your family off spiral things because it just doesn't seem like they get along well.
Yeah. Well, I refrain from going on the spiral staircase in my house, and we have like a back spiral staircase.
Oh, my grandparents' house also used to have one of those.
Yeah,
now they moved.
It's kind of scary, not gonna lie, but yeah.
Well, at my grandparents' house where they live now, they've got 3 stories, and to get from the first story to the second story, it's a stone staircase.
Oh.
And it's fine. It's all cool. It's kind of spiral. Then to get from the second to the third, it's like a clear plastic. So you can see all the way down. And not only that, but the steps, there's a gap between every step. So
I'm be honest, I really can't tell if your grandparents, right? I can't really can't tell if they're like really loaded and there's just a fancy way of doing this.
No,
or if
they're not
really
loaded. They're not loaded. They're also not poor, but they're not loaded. But yeah. So, and to make things worse, the third story when they first built the house was not a third story. It was just a roof, right? So they didn't put a light switch at the top. So the light switch is on the second floor. So if you want to go down in the middle of the night, there's no way for you to turn on the light. And there's a gap between every step, and all the steps are see-through.
Has there been any accidents or bad stories?
No, but I have had constant nightmares that my dog is coming up those stairs and that he falls through. It is a recurring nightmare every time I'm in that house. If there were to be an earthquake there, which there aren't many earthquakes where they are, I don't think there's actually ever been an earthquake there. But if there were to be, I think I would have just as many chances of dying staying at the top as trying to go down.
Okay, so I'm really not picturing or imagining the concept of see-through stairs.
It's the first place I've ever. It's like.
Is it plastic? Is it glass?
It's not plastic, but it's closer to plastic than to glass. It's like high quality plastic.
I'm not gonna lie, it seems a little sketchy.
It's more than a little bit sketchy.
Well,
but I worry.
Do your grandparents sleep on that third floor?
No, the third floor only has the guest room and the roof.
Okay. Well, so your grandparents don't have to go up there.
Well, they do because they hang things on the roof, like towels.
But at nighttime, it's not necessary.
Yeah, not usually. Well, if they wanted to go up, they could turn on the light from the second floor.
Second floor, but not on the third floor.
Not on the third floor. It's only when we're staying there on the third floor that we struggle to come down.
Well, it's very interesting architecture. But hey, maybe modern or future architecture will model this style. And it won't be so weird or abstract to us, to our simple brains.
Yeah, well, I'm happy they have a roof because I was able to watch the blood moon last year. Yeah. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember it. When, around what time?
It was like December, I think.
I was
early
in the
January.
States. I was in the US of A at this time visiting family. I don't even remember exactly where I was at. I was probably at a friend's house, but
did you see the blood moon?
I did not see the blood moon because it was not very bloody on my side of town.
No, it was a super blood moon, man. It was the bloodiest moon in decades, and I don't know. Missed it.
Hey, how bloody was it?
It was very bloody.
Was it as bloody as the Civil War?
It was not quite, but it was very red.
Red.
And bloody.
And bloody.
Yeah, it was the kind of moon that Legolas would say rises on a night after there's been death.
Yes.
I don't know how many Lord of the Rings fans we have out there. I hope all of you have watched.
Ooh, I should
movies.
do my.
I don't think you should. He has a Gollum impersonation. Actually, let the listeners listen.
I don't know if I can do it on cue.
Well.
No.
Yeah, I think that was pretty good.
I can't do it. No.
I think that's pretty good.
I can't do it. I'm sorry. That's embarrassing.
Well,
I'll work on it. One day I'll have it prepared for y'all.
Well, yeah. Well, when we set up our Patreon, that can be one of like the rewards. You know, once you are donating $5, you can get a recording of Lucas.
I'll sing you happy birthday.
Yeah, he'll sing you happy birthday. He'll send you a personalized message in his Gollum impersonation. Just $5 at our Patreon. That'll be set up. It'll be in the show notes.
Yes. Anything helps. No, that's not what we're focusing on.
Yeah, we don't need the money, but we won't say no to the money.
We would like a new microphone.
Yes, we don't want to talk about our current setup, but it's a sketch as my grandparents' staircase.
Maybe not that sketch, but it's cute.
Oh, to add to the sketchiness of that staircase, there's one step that like bends slightly when you step on it, and it's terrifying.
Say it's stable?
It's stable, but it's terrifying when you step on what is see-through, and all of a sudden it just bends a little bit.
Sounds like life. It's like a good analogy for life.
Yeah, life. It's see-through, but it bends a little bit.
It's not what I was going for. I was gonna say it's stable, but it's terrifying.
Well, like we said in the last episode, we're not philosophy majors.
Well, you might not be.
Well,
but when I was probably around 15, that was the main thing I wanted to study, and my mom would not. Like, I wanted to major in philosophy. My mom has convinced me out of it because she says that there's no money in philosophy.
Well, for those philosophy majors who are listening, why don't you tweet at us at BroYoCast and
prove me wrong.
Yeah,
prove my mother wrong.
Yeah, tell us your success story or your story. We'd love to hear it. We'll read some of the tweets on the podcast.
Yeah, I do want to know how or a philosophy major can make money, how they can provide for their families if they have families. I don't know if philosophy majors are allowed to have families.
Well, obviously, Lucas is not very informed on philosophy majors.
It's like nuns.
No,
have to be celibate.
No, but philosophy majors, I think you have a mission in life now, and that is to raise awareness for what you are like, because there are people out there like Lucas who think you are nuns.
Or monks.
Or monks. Or anything in between.
Yes. But no, I do want to study. No. My studies have changed. I don't really want to major in philosophy. That's not my ideal. I love it. I love the idea of it. I love the thought of it. The thought of it. But I think I can do better things. I'm not saying that I'm not taking away from philosophy, but I feel like it's just not my path.
Yeah, well, before Lucas keeps on trashing on the
no offense. Area. If I say no offense, you can't take offense to that.
Maybe we should move on to a different topic, and before that, we'll come back after the break.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yes.
Maybe you know the answer. Maybe you don't. Maybe someone else knows the answer. But this question came to me yesterday. Why have they not attempted to get the Titanic out from the ocean?
Well, I think there's multiple reasons.
Is it because of the size?
I think the size is part of it. As you probably know, it was one of the biggest ships at the time, and it's still huge.
Yes.
And it was very heavy. Part of the reason why they never thought it would sink is because it was made of such strong materials. Obviously not strong enough, but it's very heavy, it's very big, and it's also very, very, very deep.
Yes.
And getting things down there is hard, it's expensive, and it's difficult overall.
And do you think if they had the manpower or the power, machine power, or whatever you want to call it, to get it out at this point, do you think they would, or do you think it just like hurts the symbol that it represents, like knowing that the actual ship is still there in the ocean? Do you think they would try and get it out?
I think they would try to get it out. I think most people don't know it's still in the ocean. Most people don't know it's not in the ocean. I think in most people's minds it just is, and they don't really know where. True. And I think it'd be a more powerful image if every time you're getting on a cruise to go to the Bahamas, you see the cracked hull of the Titanic.
That's kind of scary. That's kind of intimidating.
But it's a powerful image of the forces of nature. I think now more than ever, we need to be reminded of how powerful and strong nature is. Not to get political or anything, but just...
Are you referring to the...
I'm not trying to refer to any current event. I'm just trying to... or any doomsday scenario that could be happening in the next 50 years if we don't change our behavior. But I think now more than ever do we need to remember the strength of Mother Nature and how she's taking off her belt to spank us.
Us naughty human beings.
Yeah. And
well, I just remember when I was in elementary, if you go on Google Earth, you can look up the Titanic and it'll take you to the middle of the ocean where the Titanic's at. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. But I never really thought about just the ocean is huge, right?
yes.
But just this ship is huge. Just the idea of it being there, but being there alone and nothing around it is very obscure to me. It's odd, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of terrifying.
It is very terrifying. It's creepy. I just recently saw pictures of how I saw an article on how it's corroding, it's falling apart, corroding in the ocean. And I don't know. I think if it was possible, I think it would be a good thing to preserve that part of history and to show, like you said, the effects that nature can have, and that if man isn't smart, there will be consequences.
Yeah, and I think taking it out would be a huge testament even to human power, because for the longest time no one knew where the Titanic was, and well, for those of us who are big Malaysia Airlines 370 fans, I think it's kind of it's the Titanic of the day, and seeing the first MH370, to put it that way, come out of the ocean, I think that would be inspiring to all of us.
Good point. I think it'll happen one day.
Yeah.
I definitely think someone will make it happen, but who has the right to do that?
Well, anybody.
So
I think if you find a way to get it out, I think you have proven that you are worthy. It's like Thor's hammer kind of scenario. It's he who is worthy of lifting the Titanic shall wield the Titanic.
Yes.
It's your average Joe is not gonna pick up the Titanic.
Wait, but whose property is a Titanic?
I don't know. I think the guy that owned it is probably dead.
Okay, but does that ownership move to his son or his family, or does it, since it's in international waters and it's abandoned, is it no one's? Can anyone claim it? Can no one claim it?
Well, I think we have to refer back to one of the oldest laws in mankind, and if you snooze, you lose. And yes. I think they definitely snoozed on it.
I think everyone snoozed on it.
And
it's our time to come together. It's like the Area 51 thing. Let's abandon Area 51.
Although maybe the Titanic is in Area 51 now.
That's not a bad
Yeah, we don't know.
Theory. But let's abandon Area 51. September 23rd, we're going to the Titanic. If we have enough people with floaties, we can pull that out.
They can't stop us.
They can't stop us. They don't have the military like they do at Area 51.
Yeah.
That Air Force is not going to find us.
And we're going to need resources. So go to the show notes and click on our Patreon link and sign up for 50. If we get to $5,000 per episode, I will find a way to sail out to the middle of the ocean, and we will sail on top of the Titanic, and we'll take pictures for you guys.
Yes.
And we'll prove once and for all that the Titanic is still there.
And I propose, or I believe, that if we get enough life jackets and long ropes, we can tie a bunch of life jackets to the ropes.
Yeah, it's only if you have enough life jackets Friends fans will get that.
Yes. Who said that? Joey?
No, I think it was Monica.
I don't remember that episode, but I've also watched Friends multiple times. Yes. So, well, remember, September 23rd.
Yeah.
Not Area 51. Not Grandma's house.
The Titanic.
And
in the meantime, why don't you go hit us up on Twitter?
Yes,
at BroYoCast. Tell us what you think of the podcast.
And tell us what you want to hear.
Tell us what you think of our voices. Is my voice too deep? Not deep enough?
Because these are very changeable voices.
Yeah.
I can do a British accent. I'm working on it. I'm trying to improve it.
Tell us what you want us to talk about.
Yes.
If you liked this kind of discussion about the Titanic, or about philosophy majors,
or about one-legged grandpas,
or one-legged grandpas,
or clear staircases.
Yeah. So tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like, and then go to the Patreon. Every contribution counts, because the Titanic, it's waiting for us, and you need that money.
And we need the life jackets.
We need the dough.
We need the dough to save Rose.
Yeah, exactly.
That didn't rhyme, but
no. But thank you for listening, and this was
Stay Groovy.
Yes. Okay. We're still working on our.
Oh yes.
Our
okay.
Call out.
But so far, all we have is it's not yes, it's not no,
it's
yo.